So I am walking down Washington Street. The hostel is just off of Washington Street and it goes through Chinatown. I am trying to make my way over to Boston Market, hopefully to get some souvenirs there. Probably even gonna get dinner there depending on what they have to offer. But seems like Washington Street really runs the length of the downtown area. I believe this is the downtown area. I'm not 100% sure. Because it's so hot, I decided to pull my hair back because it is really hot. But let's check out the walk.
Boston is a very walkable city. There are some streets that are older and have cobblestones, but most of the streets have sidewalks that are easy to walk down. There are some hills in the downtown Boston area, but they're not too bad. I made my way through the downtown Boston area heading north. I wanted to go to the Faneuil Hall and the Boston Marketplace, which are very close to each other. There's a lot to see along the way, including cemeteries and other historical areas that you can stop and look at. And as you're going through the downtown area, keep an eye out for actors that are dressed in the Revolutionary War era clothing, and they are often tour guides that you can book tours with. I made it to the Boston Public Market and I sped up the video to try and show you as much of the market as I could. As you can see, there are places you can sit and eat. There are different vendors there that will let you sample what they are selling. And there's a good selection of different varieties of food. You can also buy fruits and vegetables and various meats at the market, but it is worth walking through and checking out.
I really hope you guys can hear me right now because I am kind of in a busier area. I wanted to do a quick shout out. You guys know that I love doing shout outs to people that I meet whenever I travel. Wanted to do a quick shout out to Amy. She is the owner of, and I have to look at my phone because you know I don't remember anything. She is the owner of the Boston Stone Gift Shop, and it is located at 9 Marshall Street. Apparently it's, it's in the downtown area here, but it's kind of on the edge of like the Italian part because this city's kind of got little areas like Chinatown and, you know, different ethnicities, if you will. But Amy is a joy to talk with. I ended up purchasing an entire bag of stuff. She has a great selection of different souvenirs that have to do with Boston, Harvard selection, all kinds of stuff, hats, t-shirts, mugs, magnets, anything you really would want as a souvenir she has there. But if you are in Boston, go there and tell Amy that I mentioned you, and that's where you found out about her shop.
From the gift shop, I continued heading north into a section of Boston called Little Italy. The entire area has a lot of Italian restaurants and stores that are run by people that have Italian heritage. I decided to go to a restaurant that Amy at the gift shop recommended. It's called Pagliuca's. I think that's how you say it. It wasn't too far away. It was about maybe 3 blocks away from her shop. But I walked over there and they had the menu outside the restaurant, which is nice. And a lot of the restaurants in this area have that. I chose to go ahead and go to this one because it wasn't that busy. When I got there, I ended up getting the lemon chicken, which was really good, and the portions were huge. There was no way that I could finish all the food. From there, I walked around the corner and went over to Bova's Bakery. There are other bakeries in Boston that are more touristy, but right around the corner from them is Bova's Bakery, and you definitely want to check it out. They have a huge selection of cannolis, which is exactly what I ended up getting.
Now you guys know that I show you the good, the bad, and everything in between that can happen on a trip. Unfortunately, there has been some bad, but I have tried to make the best of this bad situation. Right now I am still in Boston. It's day 2 of the trip, but as you know, I am going to be going to New Haven, Connecticut, and then to Montpelier, Vermont. However, right now Montpelier, Vermont is completely flooded. Like, the only way to get around in the city is by kayak. It is beyond flooded. So Amtrak canceled my train trip from New Haven, Connecticut to Montpelier, Vermont. Well, as you know, my goal is to go to all 50 states, and my flight is out of Burlington, Vermont. So I contacted Amtrak and was like, what is my options? Because I don't want to just stay in New Haven and not get to go to Vermont, and I don't want to go through the hassle of calling the airline and getting the flight changed. So the Amtrak agent was able to find a route to get me directly to Burlington. Technically, she found a route to Montpelier, but since it's underwater, that's kind of pointless. And I'm looking on my phone right now. Basically, I would be getting on the train from New Haven, going to Springfield, Massachusetts, then changing trains and going to Albany, New York. New York was not on my list of stops because I've already been to New York, but why not go to a different city in New York? And then from Albany, New York, I will take the bus to Burlington, Vermont. And it is supposed to be a 9-hour commute from New Haven to Burlington by doing that, which is roughly about the same amount of time that it would take on the train that I originally booked. So when it comes to cancellations, you're thinking of 3 things. You're thinking of your transportation, you're thinking of where you're gonna stay, and you're thinking of, okay, if I'm flying out of one of the places, you've got to think of that. So they took care of the transportation. I already have the flight there, so I don't have to worry about that. Now I've got to think about a place to stay. I had an Airbnb in Montpelier. I just got through sending them an email and saying, hey, because it's flooded, I can't come there. Can I cancel and get a refund? Now, they could come back and say no, and I could reach out to Airbnb and say, look, the whole town is flooded. You know, that's not my fault. I didn't make it happen, and see about getting a refund. Worst case scenario is I don't get a refund and I eat the cost, which really sucks because it was, you know, a couple $100. But I should be able to find a place in Burlington. Not too worried about that. But tonight I am going to look when I get back to the hostel, see if there is an Airbnb there. If not, I might have to bite the bullet and get a hotel room, which would be a little bit pricier, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not that worried about it. The worst case scenario is I can't find a place and I spend the day trying to reach out to people of, does anyone know anybody in the area that can put me up? Or I just live in the bus station or at the airport for a day or two, which I've sort of done before. Not the best situation, but I'm confident I'll find something and I'll let you guys know. But things like this can happen when you travel that you do not expect. I kind of knew it was coming because I saw on the news that they declared a state of emergency in Vermont because of the rain there. So I figured, I was like, I'm gonna end up having to change up my plans. But I'm making the best of the situation and playing everything kind of by ear. That's part of traveling. It's an adventure. You never know what's gonna happen. But I thought I'd let you guys know that the plans have changed and I now am adding a bus route on this trip. But I'll let you guys know how it ends up playing out in the end.